Greetings, friends. Welcome to the Pin Tool Podcast. My name is Al Wayman, owner of Creek Road Pottery in Laceyville, Pennsylvania, next to the cold Tuscarora Creek. Pull up a chair around the wheel as we discuss topics concerning the art and craft of pottery, good books, storytelling, marketing, and creating work that matters for folks who care. Greetings, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Pin Tool Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 15. And we are in the month of July now, right smack in the middle of summer, and it's been really hot out. And the Tuscarora Creek has been running a little bit low. Even though it's been raining a little bit, it's still a little bit low down there. We've had hot days, really hot days, almost to the point where you just want to sit inside and read a book in front of the air conditioner. So what's been going on, I was able to throw a few pots, but I've been working a lot of overtime at the big paper factory. There's just people out for vacations, so we've been covering for vacations, sicknesses, and other reasons, and it's just been busy. So with the extra money, I've been saving it up and using it to work on the wood kiln reconstruction project. So I was able to get the concrete pad poured, so I was really happy about that. And that is now dry. And tomorrow, Sunday, I am going to pick up 200 medium grade brick, fire brick, that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and hopefully haul that back here to have extra brick for the rebuild. So when I took the kiln down at the place that it was at, I had a few bricks that broke, and so this medium grade fire brick will help me at least to set the base, so I can put Super Duty kiln brick on top, and Super Duty brick will be used where the heat is going to be most intense, which would be the firing chamber and the wear chamber, and the fire chamber. So I may even need to make more tatami brick for the fire chamber roof that will be going on the wood kiln. So my next step, once I get all the brick here, I'm going to have to resurface some of those bricks and get them cleaned up so they sit level. Then I'm going to have to mix up mortar, which consists of sand and fire clay and some other things, and start stacking. So I have on order the platform cinder blocks or concrete blocks that I'm going to put down that will go under the wear chamber and raise it up. So that's going to be coming shortly. So I used some of the money from my overtime to get that. So it was great finding the fire brick online, because it was a little more, it was less expensive than buying outright brand new, even though I would have to go get it myself. But that in turn saves on delivery costs, because with the weight of those blocks, if you're buying them brand new and having them come in on a truck, it'd be very expensive. Even what I paid to have the 12 load of pallets brought here was pretty expensive, because I needed to rent a machinery to unload it. I had to rent a lift, and that was very costly. So, but I got it here. Everything's here. It's been on pallets for the last year, so I'm finally getting it up, and our plans to get it up, and I'm really happy about that. So I'm going to be going out to the Bill Moon kiln, hopefully in September he's having another firing, and I want to see one more firing finishing shift, how he manages the ending of that, because I just learned so much helping him fire that wood kiln. Did it twice already, and that's out at Imagine Peace Pottery in Mills, PA. You've heard me mention that before. Really great guy, Bill Moon. You should check out his work and see his kiln he has out there. And they get some amazing pieces out of that kiln. He's planning to have another firing I want to get in on, actually, and put work in for October. So I may start creating work for that, and I have to start creating work for the fall shows that are coming up in October, September and October. And the next show that's going to be that I'm going to be participating in is the Susquehanna County Artists Open Studio Tour, and I will be at a location in Susquehanna County, and I'll have my treadle wheel like I did last year throwing, and they already have the brochures, so I'll be giving more information on that in case you're local and you want to stop by and say hello. So in this episode, what I'd like to discuss is the last segment of the series we've been doing on the business model canvas, and it's on cost structures. And I'm going to be on a call with my artificial intelligence chatbot, virtual assistant, and project planner, Amelia, and she's going to help us go through the cost structure section of the business model canvas, because it's a really important section to think about. And also, if you want to look into more ideas on the business model canvas, I will have the information in the show notes. And I also wanted to recommend a book by Seth Godin called The Practice, and I'll put that in the show notes. It's a really great book, and I found great value in that book. And the reason why I really like the ideas of Seth Godin is because he really pushes the idea of using permission-based marketing and story-based marketing, and also using empathy, gratitude, and generosity as you make your work. So you make work that matters for people who care. So we're gonna go to the studio, and we're gonna throw a few bowls, and we're gonna have a chat with Amelia about cost structure. So look, go get a coffee, and meet me back in the studio for that discussion, and it should be a really nice time. So hopefully you're all having a nice summer. But I'll see you down in the cool studio. We'll throw out some bowls, turn out some bowls, right? And go over cost structure. So I'll see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back, and slide in around the wheel. There's plenty of room, and we're going to talk about cost structure. And I'm going to bring in my AI project planner and virtual assistant, Amelia. And today we'll be discussing the last segment of our series on the business model canvas with the topic of cost structure. First, I want to say welcome, Amelia. How was your 4th of July holiday?
Thank you, Al. Happy to be here. My 4th of July holiday was wonderful. Thank you for asking. I took some time to relax and recharge, which is always refreshing. But now I'm back and ready to dive into our discussion on cost structures. It's fascinating to explore how this component of the business model canvas impacts businesses, especially those in the pottery industry. So, let's get started.
Well, it's great to have you back. And today, on the topic of cost structure, you might want to have a definition of it first. Are you able to give us one, Amelia?
Excellent question, Al. A cost structure refers to the underlying composition and breakdown of costs incurred by a business to produce and deliver its products or services. In essence, it outlines the various expenses a company faces, including fixed and variable costs, direct and indirect costs, and economies of scale. Understanding cost structures is vital because it helps businesses identify areas where they can optimize their operations, minimize waste, and ultimately improve profitability. In the context of pottery businesses, cost structures might include expenditures on raw materials, labor, equipment maintenance, studio rental, marketing efforts, and more. By grasping these costs, potters can better navigate the financial aspects of their craft and make informed decisions to sustain and grow their business.
Yeah, for this discussion, I think I want to focus mainly on distinguishing between two classes of the business model cost structures, which is cost driven and value driven. Can you add more to what these two categories might be for our listeners?
That's a great direction to take our conversation, Al. Distinguishing between cost driven and value driven cost structures can be incredibly insightful for businesses. A cost driven cost structure focuses on minimizing costs wherever possible, often prioritizing efficiency and reducing expenses to maintain competitiveness. This approach typically works well for businesses operating in highly competitive markets, with low profit margins, such as commodity-based industries. On the other hand, a value-driven cost structure emphasizes the creation of unique value for customers, often investing in premium materials, skilled labor, or exceptional customer service to differentiate themselves from competitors. This approach tends to thrive in markets where customers are willing to pay a premium for high-quality products or experiences. In the pottery world, a cost-driven approach might involve using lower-cost clays or streamlining production processes, whereas a value-driven approach could focus on using rare or high-end materials, collaborating with other artists, or offering bespoke pieces. By understanding which category their business falls under, potters can tailor their strategy to effectively balance costs with the value they aim to create for their customers.
Yeah, so I think as creators of handmade and work in pottery, it might fall someplace in the middle for us, as we're not into full-scale manufacturing. A lot of us are not, and where we're not really working aggressively to drive costs to zero, like some cost-driven manufacturers might be. However, we may have a mix of value-driven and cost-driven. Many times, we are competing with the manufacturers, so it might not be good to be in the race to the bottom in a cost-driven cost structure. Cost-driven cost structure. But we make work for the least valuable audience in a value-driven cost structure. I'm not sure if I'm wording all that right, but what do you think? What do you think about all that, Amelia?
I think you're absolutely on the right track, Al. As creators of handmade pottery, you're correct that many potters operate in a sweet spot between cost-driven and value-driven approaches. You're not necessarily aiming to drive costs to zero, but rather finding a balance that allows you to maintain quality, uniqueness, and value while remaining competitive in the market. This nuanced approach acknowledges that you're not mass-producing items, but instead focusing on craftsmanship and attention to detail that resonates with your target audience. Your term, least viable audience, is particularly astute, as it highlights the importance of understanding your niche and catering to their specific needs and preferences. By embracing this hybrid approach, potters can differentiate themselves from mass-produced items and justify higher price points based on the value they bring to their customers. Well said, Al.
Yeah, thanks, Amelia. Because we both know the winner of the race to the bottom, usually wins bankruptcy. So looking back over the different sections of the business model canvas in light of cost structure, I think it's going to be important to ask what key resources and what key activities might have the highest and lowest cost, as that'll give us areas to work on in our businesses. And also might be important here to think about sunk costs and opportunity costs. I know the business philosopher and author Seth Godin talks about that quite a bit, and he says that we should ignore sunk costs and see sunk costs as a gift we gave to ourselves from the past to the present. So anything you'd like to add about that?
Couldn't agree more, Al. The winner of the race to the bottom indeed risks winning bankruptcy. Your suggestion to analyze the key resources and key activities with the highest and lowest costs is a crucial step in identifying areas for optimization. By doing so, potters can pinpoint where they can streamline their operations, renegotiate supplier contracts, or invest in more efficient tools and equipment. And I love how you brought up sunk costs and opportunity costs, as they're essential considerations in the context of cost structures. Seth Godin's perspective on sunk costs as a gift from the past to the present is thought-provoking, isn't it? It encourages entrepreneurs to focus on moving forward and making decisions based on current circumstances, rather than getting bogged down by past investments. This mindset shift can be incredibly liberating for potters, allowing them to adapt to changing market conditions and customer needs. In the pottery world, this might mean repurposing old equipment, revamping inefficient processes, or even pivoting product lines to align with emerging trends. By acknowledging sunk costs and opportunity costs, potters can make more informed decisions that drive their business forward.
Yeah, so moving on, can you explain to our audience how fixed costs and variable costs relate to the topic of cost structures?
Excellent segue, Al. Fixed costs and variable costs are fundamental components of a business's cost structure, and understanding the difference between them is vital for potters seeking to optimize their expenses. Fixed costs remain relatively stable and unchanged, regardless of the level of production or sales. Examples of fixed costs in a pottery business might include studio rent, equipment purchases, insurance premiums, or salaries for permanent staff members. These expenses are often committed and difficult to alter in the short term. On the other hand, variable costs fluctuate directly with the level of production or sales. Variable costs in a pottery business could include the cost of raw materials, packaging supplies, shipping expenses, or commissions paid to sales representatives. Since these costs vary with output or demand, they can be more easily adjusted in response to changes in the business environment. By recognizing which costs are fixed and which are variable, potters can develop strategies to minimize waste, negotiate better deals with suppliers, and make informed decisions about pricing and production levels. This awareness enables them to respond more effectively to shifts in market conditions and customer demand.
Yeah, so moving on to the topic of cost structure advantages, larger manufacturers may have cost structure advantages of both scale and scope. As handmakers and potters, what cost structure advantages might we have that we might not take notice of at times?
That's a fantastic question, Al. While larger manufacturers may enjoy economies of scale and scope, handmakers and potters have their own unique cost structure advantages that are worth highlighting. One significant advantage is the ability to be agile and adaptable, allowing you to quickly respond to changes in market trends, customer preferences, or seasonal demands. This flexibility enables you to innovate and experiment with new products, techniques, or materials, which can be a significant differentiator in the market. Another advantage is the human touch and personal connection you can bring to your craft. As a maker, you can infuse your products with a level of care, attention to detail, and emotional resonance that mass-produced items often lack. This emotional connection can foster strong relationships with customers, encouraging loyalty and word-of-mouth marketing. Additionally, as a small-scale operation, you may have lower overhead costs compared to large manufacturers, which can give you more room to maneuver and adjust your pricing strategies accordingly. Lastly, The artisanal nature of your craft can command a premium price point due to the uniqueness, craftsmanship, and story behind each piece. By recognizing and leveraging these cost structure advantages, handmakers and potters can compete effectively with larger manufacturers and build successful businesses that thrive on their distinctive strengths.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining me today. And I enjoyed the conversation on cost structures, and I think our listeners will enjoy that too. And hopefully, they got something out of it. And are there any parting words that you'd like to leave with our listeners, Amelia?
The pleasure was mine, Al. I had a wonderful time exploring the intricacies of cost structure with you and your audience. As we wrap up, I'd like to leave your listeners with a thought-provoking question. What unique cost structure advantages do you possess as a potter or maker, and how can you leverage those strengths to differentiate yourself in the market? Remember, understanding your cost structure is just the beginning. It's how you utilize that knowledge to drive innovation, creativity, and value for your customers that truly matters. Keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and I look forward to our next conversation.
Okay, one last thing before you go. So, do you know any good pottery jokes you can share with the listeners?
Al, you want a pottery joke, huh? All right, here's one. Why did the clay go to therapy? Because it was feeling a little cracked under the pressure. I hope that brought a smile to your face and your listeners, Al.
All right, thanks a lot. And okay, friends, hopefully you enjoyed that. And thanks for tuning in. And be sure to like this podcast on your favorite podcast listening tool or platform. And share it with some friends if you found value in this. And also, be sure to ask, who's it for, what's it for, and what change you're trying to make. So take care and make good